Islam Dwayne. It is July the 18th, 2020. I just got off work from Burger King and I'm walking. I want to show you how close the Armed Force Career Center is close to Burger King. Now, maybe I guess approximately now a year, I've known that the United States Navy Academy is approximately 2 miles behind Burger King. For a long time, I didn't know. I didn't understand why so many military officers or those that wear the attire. See, that's Burger King right here. You see, I'm here. I just off work. It's July the 18th, 2020. I'm Rhonda Arrington-Bey, your wife, and here I am walking. So you see Burger King once again. So I didn't know the Naval Academy was 2 miles behind Burger King. And I didn't understand why so many predominantly black males and a few black females, that's a description, let's say claim a nationality, and pale skin, but mostly predominantly black males and female. And out of those two be black males would sit at Burger King for hours, almost every day during the week. And then that didn't matter to me. I was like, okay, because as Moorish Americans, we are taught to respect the United States Navy and Army, because they're supposed to be upholding or have affirmed either have taken an oath or affirmed to uphold the U.S.A. Constitution of 1787, the 13th Amendment with 20 sections, and all 4 of Abraham Lincoln's proclamations. So in that, because they respect and honor those officers, those soldiers who have died before them, died for the spirit of freedom. So anyway, this is Taekwondo. Now, the Naval Academy, I was told approximately a year ago, is I've been working for Burger King since June of 2016, approximately a year ago, not even a year. One of the naval people, the Naval Academy officers, came to Burger King, and I just went ahead and I said, is there an academy close here or armed forces? And he was like, yes, it's about 2 miles. I said, oh, okay, I didn't know that. But now this has been going on for years, seeing those that wear the Army emblem, the naval emblem, the Navy emblem, sit there, and even the Marines sit at Burger King for hours at a time. The only issue was when they started to behave odd. Like one guy was like, don't touch my hand. One guy, I don't know if he had on any Army or Naval forces or military emblems or anything like that on his car, but I had to call the cops on him because he sat at that same table where most of them sat, and these are all black males. And because he thought I was trying to take his picture, and I was just using my camera or my tablet as I usually do. But he got scared, obviously, and thought I was taking his picture. And I'm like, why would he care if I'm taking his picture? Everywhere you go, people are able to take pictures. You have cameras all over the place. Burger King has about 3 or 4, I don't know how many cameras Burger King has, but they have lots of cameras. So I didn't understand what was his issue if he's afraid that I was going to take his picture, especially if he's sitting there hours at a time. Anyone can come in there with a cell phone. We have a tablet, and you can take a picture. You can use your phone to do such things. When cops pull someone over, or they're doing their regular routines, many citizens use their phones and their cameras and take pictures and videotape either the cops, either they're performing justly or they are being corrupt. If it wasn't for us being able to use our rights to do such things, so many corrupt police officers would have gotten away with a lot. I mean, I can start naming off some names right off, such as Rodney King and other. Just a little while ago, I just posted, I think it's in Colorado. They were doing a visual for this young melanated man. I think he looked to be black. Was also killed. There's issue of foul play or possibly foul play by police officers. If I read it correct, I could be wrong. And so the school was doing a visual for them, and a lot of cops, just cops in masks, the whole nine, guns, came there, and the people started taking pictures and videotaping because they couldn't understand what was going on. They would say, no, stop, because all they were doing was playing a violin and playing violins to the death of this young melanated man. So this is the armed forces. As you can see, it's right across the street from Burger King. You see it has the Army emblem. Many times as I'm walking back from Burger King, I'm feeling sharp pains in my left ankle. When I'm earning money, I'm feeling sharp pains in different parts of my body, or I'm experiencing different spiritual attacks. And see, actually it even says Marines here. Marines, the few and the proud. So I told you some of the people have said they were from the Marines. And because we know that the officers are trained to kill, okay, so that means they are adept in killing, okay, whether it's a male or female. So it's interesting, you see the Taekwondo right next to these armed forces. Not only that, they have technologies, technological devices where they can listen, where they can send different frequencies, carry voices. So they are trained to kill, okay, obviously professionally trained to kill, okay, and they also have technological devices that they can use. They can put in someone's room to cause a frequency to appear, or to actually spy, to look, to stalk, whatever they want to do, to watch. And so what the thing is, what my question is, like today I found this was so odd. Besides so many of them seem to be, here's a car that just drove by with two black, a male and a female, has some, it looks like a government tag on it. Would sit at Burger King and then start behaving odd. So what happened was, with the black male, I called the cops on him because he was about 6'2", and he approached me like he was ready to fight, like he was ready to beat me down. I'm a woman. I've been on my feet all day long. Some people call Burger King fast food, but it's a restaurant to me. And this black male comes and steps forward, comes and steps towards me. The reason why I did that, posted, shows the turn the camera that way towards that cab, because usually when I start speaking about the United States military, the Navy, or the police as a Moorish American, usually the cab drivers that are driven by foreigners, they look like they could be from the Middle East, African, but they're not from this country, would start driving more and more around me. Okay, so this has happened too many times. Like if I post something that I experienced odd, and the United States military and Navy or Marines or even the police are involved, these cabs, when I'm walking back and forth to work, like you just heard him beat the horn for no reason, okay, will start driving close or driving by me as I walk back and forth to work. Now these are acts of terrorism, but how can you say they're acts of terrorism when it's all dealing with movement, language, and psychology? So they are also, these military officers are in depth in psyche, trying to learn the psyche, the behavior of a person. The military is doesn't only consist of black or pale skin and white, Spanish speaking. You have those that look to be from Asia. You have those that can be from the Middle East. how many times you've heard of those from the Middle East being connected to the United States Navy and Army? Okay, and so and the Marines or the United States government, and there's something going on in reference to they're trying to figure out what happened to this. Why did this happen? This wasn't legal. This wasn't lawful. So the cab just drove back around again. That's a gold cab. So anyway, I'm just giving testimony. What I noticed as a Moorish American, because we are in a time where we are dealing with the coronavirus pandemic, and when you're dealing with such chaos, this is when those who are unlawful, they've been unlawful, but they would try to the extreme become more unlawful if they're allowed to, especially if they're not in the constitutional fold. So if they can rape in the open, they will. So it's not surprising to hear about so many issues with the police shooting and killing unarmed citizens. And also with hearing about the United States Navy or Army, it was mainly the Army, but the military, let me say the military, because I'm sort of, and there's a case recent that I know of, and probably others that I don't know of, where they killed their own soldiers, predominantly females, melanated. They killing their own soldiers. So they found some cases in reference to them, they have found their soldiers raped, or it looked like they were trying to hide that they were raped. So right now, as I give testimony of experiencing sharp pains, because Imani Arrington-Bey and I do not have the telepathic code. We reject it as Moorish Americans, so we don't send sharp pains. We cannot do it. We can't send a sharp pain. We cannot manipulate someone's dream. So at American Ascended Stay, I keep giving testimony about hearing mumbling, like some deranged, like a robot. Now, if you're dealing with a military, you have scientists in the military, Dwayne Byfield Bey, and these scientists, they have to be scientists there because they're traveling. They have to know what's going on, and also we have issues. You're dealing with intelligence in reference to your body. Once again, your psyche, your behavior. Now, why would the United States military government would try to use their authority, okay, if they are in the constitutional law? That means if they have affirmed, not in constitutional law, if they have affirmed or taken an oath to uphold these laws of freedom, why would they do such things? Why would they actually cause people, right now I'm feeling sharp pains, to send sharp pains to someone, an individual who's not able to do so, but is obviously healthy, because I'm healthy and strong like Imani Bey. Why would they do it? And yes, I'm saying that there's something going on in a connection with me experiencing sharp pains, my dreams being manipulated at night with the United States Navy, Army, and a corrupt order of the police. I'm saying it, and I am definitely, because I see too many connections. I documented before how these cab drivers that look to be from other lands will start driving around me early in the morning or in the afternoon when I give testimony about behavior with the United States Navy, Army, and Marines. So why would they do it? Now, one video I have speaks about illegal organ selling and how illegal organ selling is and sex trafficking. Illegal organ selling and sex trafficking is a problem, okay, on this landmass. So I know for me, maybe 15 years ago, when I would think of illegal organ selling and sex trafficking, I thought I would think of a third world country. I wouldn't think that this would be happening in what is considered an industrialized country. But this country, when you educate yourself and see the behavior, you realize it's industrialized in some ways, but not in all, especially with health. The United States jurisdiction, when I say country, I should say the United States jurisdiction, is 35 in too many statistics in reference to health. So that means it is not, there are 34 other countries that are considered civilized in reference to, compared to the United States jurisdiction. It is in red. It is below what should be, what this country, what the United States jurisdiction should be. So that means you have a population of people constantly being recycled in the medical system. Okay? So if you have a population of people in all states being recycled, you having issues with illegal organ selling, sex trafficking, and you wondering what is going on, then you got to look at the government. Now, the Army and Navy has a commander-in-chief. This didn't just happen overnight. As of today, the commander-in-chief, it would be considered President Trump, unless he has not taken an oath or affirmed to uphold constitutional laws, as those that are involved in illegal organ selling and sex trafficking. So I would hope that he has taken an oath or affirmed to uphold these divine laws of freedom. Because if he has not, then how is he president? Okay? So definitely there's a connection with me experiencing my dreams being manipulated. Because see, if you are in reference to the government, you're a foreigner, you come from a third world country, and you are not naturalized. You barely have permission to work on this landmass. You have a family to feed, and you have a code, a telepathic code that the United States government can use and download and cause you to behave in a manner that is outside of a civilized state of mind at any time. Okay? Because that code is the same code that they give to the dogs, the cats, the apes. They give it to the human beings. So if you come from a third world country, you have a family to feed, and you barely have working papers. You can barely work and provide for your family. If there is a job that you know of in your community to send sharp pains to healthy individuals, cause them to think they are mentally ill or behave mentally off, invade their dreams, stalk them, unless you have a higher state of mind, and you are strong in your higher self, why wouldn't some of them just say, I'll do it? I don't know her. I don't know her child. I don't know him. I don't know that child. I don't know that family. I don't know those people, that community. Look what they got, and look what we have. We don't have nothing. Why not do it? So definitely, some, not all, these unclean spirits that are not from this landmass originally are being used to do such things. Just like unclean spirits that are African American and Black Negro, who have not, because you cannot be under the status of Black or African American and have a nationality, because that's not a nationality. So that means you have not been naturalized. So that means the constitutional laws that this land was built on does not apply to you. So that is the same for them. Why would they not send sharp pains? Because they too, according to constitutional law, is a foreigner. They're outside of natural law. Pale skin is not a nationality. There's no way, nowhere on this earth that you can say my nationality is white. I'm a white American, or pale skin. That does not exist in reference to nationality. Either you are from Ireland, England, Australia, that's whatever, wherever you may come from, but not pale skin or white. So they too are vulnerable to be used as weapons, because these are weapons of mass destruction, as to be used as terrorists, unless they have a higher state of mind to not do so. And when I say terrorists, to send sharp pains, invade someone's genitals, molest someone's genitals, invade someone's dream. So getting back to sex trafficking. So when the United States Navy and Army have different technological devices and different ways, because they're supposed to be using these technological devices in war tactics, because this is a war tactic. If you're outside of constitutional law and you are behaving, you're harming someone on this landmass, that is a war tactic. You are performing war acts, crimes of war upon true American citizens. And so, when someone invades your dream in the middle of the night and they're trying to have sex with you, and so instead of them hiding what they're doing, you have people walking around saying he or she F-U-C-K-U. What they're doing is trying to normalize rape and molestation, and then eventually breed something that's not like you in your ancestral line. So that presence that's around your room, that's stalking you, probably getting off, probably having orgasms, jacking off like an animal, because that's exactly what they are, would have, you would feel, you get so tired of it, you feel like, oh, they supposed to be here. And then you start hearing these demonic spirits start saying, I was always there. We've been there for so long. These demonic, savage, low-life spirits. We've been there for so long. Been there trying to rape, waiting to rape and molest. That's how sick and demonic, when you're dealing with the United States Navy, Army, and the corrupt order of the police, is that have not taken an oath or affirmed to uphold constitutional laws. And you already know we're among experiments. So that's sex trafficking. So if you're trying to sleep light, and so say so in that, you are saying a prayer, you're doing prayers for protection, you burning your incense, you're trying to keep a divine thought, and they start attacking your child because they like, okay, well, we can't break her. She won't allow us to have sex with her willingly. Now you laying in the bed with your child, okay? And these demonic spirits are trying to have sex with you while you're laying in the bed with your child. Mentally. So they're trying to invade your dreams, attack your genitals while you laying in the bed with your child. And then when you wake up within a few seconds to protect yourself, and you realize what's happening, protect it, keep it from happening, they start attacking your child. You hear your child making noises in the middle of the night. That is a war tactic. And those are psychological war tactics that the United States Navy, the Army, and the corrupt order of the police office, whether it's the Marines as well, military, is known to do. So in the video about 9/11, okay, they were speaking about war games, and this is also that in that same video with Congress. This is Congress. Is a legitimate video. They were I think it was the Senate and the House, or anyway, they were speaking about war games. And as they were speaking about war games, they were saying that she brought up sex trafficking. McKinley, Cynthia McKinley, that is her name. Then after the video, they started to ask what happened, because she questioned what happened to the trillions of dollars during 9/11. The trillions of dollars that went missing during 9/11, where they couldn't find where it went. But thousands of people were killed on 9/11. After the video, you hear other people speaking, not after in the video, but after that session, you hear people speaking about illegal organ selling and the connection with illegal organ selling. So I'm connecting this to those military officers that have not taken an oath, male and female, black, Negro, African American, because I keep telling you, Dwayne Arrington-Bey, most of the time when I hear someone speaking around American extended stay, they have a black Negro accent, male and female, like they deranged, begging, saying brother all the time. That is a war tactic. That's psychological warfare. Why are you going to sit around and use a technological device to keep carrying your voice to say brother when a woman and her child is trying to sleep and prepare to go earn money the next day as a productive, true American citizen who have claimed to uphold these divine laws of freedom? Then also I hear Spanish speaking. So many times I give you testimony about those that are unclean in spirit, whether they're from Mexico or El Salvador, forced mental engaging. So they could be from South America. It's like, what is up with them? They don't know us. We don't even know Spanish. We know some Spanish. Picked up some Spanish. We don't even know Spanish. What's up with them engaging? And then not only that, you can tell they're implying to send sharp pains. They talking around the room. You could tell they're implying to attack the genitals, molest your genitals, invade your dreams. Now, if they're in constitutional law, they've been naturalized, why would they feel they would have to do such things? If they've been naturalized under these divine laws of freedom, like the military is supposed to have done, because their commander-in-chief is President Trump. So if President Trump have been naturalized and uphold these divine laws of freedom, that means he's taken an oath, because he is under the European, I'm assuming European, so he would have taken an oath. Then they should too have been naturalized. That means they too would have taken an oath or affirmed to uphold the U.S.A. Constitution of 1787, the 13th Amendment with 20 sections, and all 4 of Abraham Lincoln's proclamations. So why would anyone that speaks Spanish coming from another country feel that they would have to stalk, terrorize someone who has nothing to do with them, who doesn't even share their same flag, who doesn't share their same culture? Why would they feel they would have to do it? This is the cup that I take to Burger King now every day. Ever since they told me that we supposed to, it was Thomas, he said you're supposed to use a courtesy cup and to drink water. And I was like, this not even a month ago, and I didn't know. I've been working there since 2016. No one ever said that. June of 2016, no one ever said such things to me. And but the conversation came about when one of the regulars, once again, one of the regulars who would sit around the table that is implied to be connected to the United States Navy or Army, the military, a black male, he was paying for a senior cup, which is 73 cents, or a small cup, and the manager Phyllis was giving him a medium or large, and the employees were giving him a medium or large. At first I didn't do it, but then he started to get frustrated with me. This happened right about when they shut down the lobby, when the coronavirus pandemic when these laws start to be implemented. And I was like, okay. He got upset with me because I would not give him a larger cup than what he paid for, because I didn't feel right doing it. He didn't pay for it, so I saw them doing it, but that was them. I was like, I'm not doing it. And then he was like, I don't want you waiting on me anymore. So when he started to take it to that level in communication, and he was actually getting upset, that's when I asked one of the managers, Miss Phyllis, was it okay for me, even though he paying for a small or senior cup, to give him a larger cup than what he paid for? And she said, okay. The next time he came in, I was working with Thomas. Thomas said it was not okay. So this was confusion. So what I did, and the description on both of them will be on the sides of Black or African American, unless they claim a nationality. Now, the confusion is with that, I went to Carl, the owner, one of the owners, as far as I know, to ask him about it and tell him about it, because the guy was actually definitely showing that he did not want me to wait on him. Okay, and because I would not give him a cup that he did not pay for. He paid for a senior cup or a small. So now I found it odd that this started to happen after the situation with the pandemic, with the lobby was being closed, because the lobby is closed. They can't sit there for hours at a time anymore. He would sit usually not at that same table, but close or around the same table where many of the predominantly United States Navy or implied to be connected to the United States Navy or Army would sit there and just talk and say things, a lot of words that I would experience or hear at American Extended Stay, like peace. One time, a few times I started to notice they started saying more. I was like, why are these military men or implied to be connected to the United States military saying more? Then I would hear them say, always brother, paid, start speaking about things that I would hear at American Extended Stay, Islam. So when I started to listen to my videos and I started to hear these words, I started to question what was going on. All right, because when you're in constitutional law, that's true law, then you behave as such. You're not gonna. I'm not saying you're harassing, but if you're not in constitutional law, but if you are at a restaurant and you are demonstrating odd behavior, and you have demonstrated you are connected or in the United States Navy, Army, or military, then that should be questioned. That should be questioned, and that should be a sign of abuse. Especially if you are trained to kill, you are trained to protect, you are trained to carry guns, you are trained to use weapons, okay? But you at a restaurant and you behaving like an average citizen on the street that is not trained for none of these things. So those that have the telepathic code can sense sharp pains, they can attack the genitals, they can invade your mental space. Why would the United States military, Navy, and Army would continue to invade someone's mental space, or those that are corrupt as cops? Why would they do it if they are in the United States Navy or Army? I mean, if they are in the constitutional fold, excuse me, if they have taken an oath or affirmed to uphold these divine laws of freedom, if they are not being used by something that's foreign and outside of constitutional law. Also, I hear pale skins accents saying 3, along with the black Negro saying 3, accents around American Extended Stay and the Spanish speaking. Why is someone that is also a program, a psychological form of warfare? Why are you going to sit there, go up and down the hall or around the room saying a number 3 like you trying to initiate someone? And then try to rape or molest her while she laying in the bed with her son? Or actually try to rape and molest him? Anyway, Dwayne Buffalo, that's my testimony. So today at Burger King, these black males, they came into Burger King, and they said, can we pay? One of them said, because they seemed to be joking around, and one of them actually sounded similar to the voices at American Extended Stay. Right before I took their order, there was a black male in front of them with the Navy cap, or the cap that went in on, I see, that usually implied to be connected to the Navy, was in front of them. Then they came into Burger King, then I took their order, and he was like, can I pay for my food with food stamps? You know, so many times I have had issues with my food stamp card. Okay, literally, I had issues with getting food stamps. It's like, for whatever reason, they didn't get the information. So I'm thinking I'm going to get my food stamps, and the food stamps did not appear. So he was like, can I pay for my food today? This is July the 18th, 2020, with a food stamp card. I said, no, you can't. He was joking, like he was laughing. I said, you can't. I said, and I saw him with the USAA card. That's the credit card for Navy and Army that they use. And then he took that card out. I said, sir, but you can use that card that you're using. Is that card connected to the Navy and Army? Or is that a bank that's connected to the Navy and Army? He said, yes, it is. I said, okay, well, you cannot pay for your food with food stamps, but you can pay for your food with the Navy, that USAA card, that credit card that's connected to the Navy and Army. A customer came in and asked if, many times customers come in asking if Burger King have military discounts. I say no, but Burger King offer police discounts. And I gave testimony. It's like odd behavior. Some, like for instance, when I would go out at the same time, or walking, going back and forth to Burger King, or earning money or whatever, police cars driving around, like on my path to work, and then I see a car accident, or there's a car accident on my path to work, and it seemed definitely odd. At first few times seeing a car accident and seeing the police lights everywhere, it's like nothing. I've been here since 2016 of June, but then I started noticing that this was a regular thing happening. And so one time, the accident happened right in front of me. I was crossing a crosswalk like this one, and the lady, who looked to be pale skin, had stopped completely. And so I can walk. Then the guy that was behind her, black male, ran straight into her. And then there was a black car next to her, a black SUV. He turned on his lights. It was an undercover police car. The lights were coming from inside the truck. So just so happened that truck was right next to her, and she stopped because he stopped at the same time, and the black male behind her ran into her from the back. And I found that odd, because I was like, it looked staged. It looked like a movie. It looked staged. It looked like it was acting. So, there's insurance fraud, because, these accidents, you got to pay for insurance. There's insurance fraud. So this is getting back to 9/11, the trillions of dollars that was missing during 9/11, okay? Trillions of dollars missing during 9/11. So when you're dealing with so many car accidents, that doesn't seem to make sense. It's like, where is this insurance money coming from? When I started to post this on internet, that's when I noticed the car accidents slowed down. But in West Street, or on my path to work, I would see these car accidents abnormally too many times. That's when I realized they seem to have stopped. Anyway, Islam Dwayne Bafube, that's my testimony today. Today, Miss Phyllis didn't say much to me. I was able to do fries. She didn't say move, don't stand next to me ever again. Like I said, I don't understand why she would say why she would say things to me in a personal manner. I don't know her. I don't know James. Personally, I don't know Thomas personally. Just a little while ago, about a month and a half ago or 2 months ago, I asked James. I think I saw him talking to a army person, a person in uniform or something like that. I asked him, was he in the army? He said yes, he was in the army, or he's still in the army. I'm not sure. I possibly think that Miss Phyllis' husband might be in the Navy. I'm not sure. I think I overheard talking. So this has, what I'm saying, has nothing to do with her or him, because I mean, it just doesn't. I'm giving testimony of what I experienced. I'm not accusing her. I'm not saying she's a part of this or him. I'm giving testimony. So once again, the Navy is approximately, the Naval Academy, 2 miles behind Burger King, so it makes sense. I showed you where the Armed Force recruiting place is, across from Burger King, and right next to it has Taekwondo, where they train them to be fit physically, so they can cause harm supposedly to the enemies of freedom. But instead, obviously, they have time to cause harm, including rape and molestation spiritually, to true American citizens on this landmass. And this is also dealing with slave breeding, because we're among those unclean spirits that are able to control technology with their mind. So if they are able to control technology with their mind, that means this tablet, a cell phone, a computer, which we are taught and we have learned, scientists have given information about radiation coming from these technological devices, then you know anything that is attuning or connecting to them has radiation as well. So in 2017, I have just posted odd behavior, because I didn't understand. I first started experiencing sharp dull pains was when this pale-skinned lady would sit at the regular table at Burger King. She used to drive this black truck that had the license plate Navy 1 on it. Now, Navy 1, it was NAVY1, and then she would have these 2 American flags on each side, similar to this black truck here, on each side of her truck. Okay? And one day, Imani and I was new to Annapolis, Maryland, and one day she's because I never experienced sharp dull pains forcefully. I know my body, and us being vegan vegetarians, and we have learned to eat according to the chemistry of our body. We exercising. Not every day we would wake up and exercise before we went to work, but we would try to exercise early in the morning before we would go earn money at Burger King or money at Wendy's. Stretching, sit-ups, just try to stay fit as much as possible. So maybe 3 months after working there, approximately, I can't remember, we started working in June of 2016. She was maybe 2 months. It was, all I know is soon. It wasn't that far from me working there. I was taking her order, and she used to sit once again at the table with the predominantly black males that would sit at the regular table that also implied to be connected to the Navy, the Army, and other military agencies, whether it's the Marines or whatever, or police, Islam. So she said paid, y'all, as I was taking her out of the blue, or she paid. I can't remember what I documented because I don't have it in front of me. And I felt a sharp pain around my left temporal. That is the first time I experienced 4 sharp pains in that manner. So, I'm not accusing her, but I'm giving a statement of what I experienced, because I don't know where the sharp pains came from, but I am giving a statement of what I experienced. And I documented years ago because I never experienced anything like that, Islam. Now, once again, this country, or the United States jurisdiction, is known for illegal organ selling, sex trafficking. It's not the third world countries that are impoverished. So it is so bad that it's been documented in the government.